Alright, Alien Romulus is out, and my Alien review series is finished, which means it's time to rank the 7 Alien movies from worst to best. Starting with number 7, Alien Resurrection. This movie is goofy as hell. It's handily the stupidest movie in the franchise, and it's just objectively the worst. The only question is like, do you get ironic enjoyment out of it? And for me, the answer is yes. I had a good laugh watching this movie, but that still doesn't make it a good movie. It's still bad, and it's still the worst out of the series. At number 6, I have Alien 3. This is the much maligned third chapter in the Alien franchise that basically dispatches with everything the previous movie did and goes off in its own pretty generic direction. As a movie, it's not terrible. The great David Fincher is somehow responsible for this thing, so there is a certain degree of quality and competency to it. It's just not a very fun experience to watch. And I wish I had more to say about it than that, but without getting into spoilers, there just isn't much to say about Alien 3. It's not very good. At number 5, I have Prometheus. This, more than any others, feels like it shouldn't really be part of the franchise. There's just no reason to attach this very middle-of-the-road sci-fi horror film to the Alien series. On top of that, everything that's done well in this movie, I feel like is done better in the following two movies, so it's like, why even bother with this one? I will say, when I think of this movie, the first thing that comes to mind is the aliens themselves, which are pretty frightening and cool. I like the designs and whatnot. But unfortunately, the second thing that comes to mind is the ridiculously stupid decisions that the characters make in this movie again and again and again. And yes, I know that that's a recurring theme in the franchise, characters kind of making dumb decisions, but in the other movies, it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel as outrageous, whereas in this movie, I can't overlook it. So ultimately, it's alright, I guess. Next up at number 4, I've got Alien Covenant, and I gotta say, the first thing I think of when I think of this movie is the character of David. This is something I didn't mention explicitly in the individual review, but his character is just fantastic in this movie. The problem is that a lot of the other stuff, especially like the stuff involving the aliens and whatnot, just feels very tacked on and unoriginal and just kind of tired. And so it's like, overall, my feelings on the movie just kind of average out to it's okay, but still, it's not a bad movie, and I do get, something out of it. Number 3 is Alien Romulus, and I feel like with these newest 3 movies, they've each gotten progressively less ambitious, and paradoxically with that, they've also each gotten progressively better, at least in my opinion. Fede Alvarez brings his unique strengths to the Alien formula on this one, and basically creates what I've seen described a lot as like an Alien greatest hits. And that's kind of the case. There's a lot of referencing of previous movies in this one and whatnot. But overall, I just found it to be a really just straightforward but fun and enjoyable spectacle. And I do still wish someone would have the courage to take the series into new territory. But, this'll do. This'll do fine. I liked it. But despite how fun Romulus is, there's a major gap between that and the top 2, which are really the only 2 in the series that actually matter in the grand scheme of things. And so it's time to ask the age-old question, which one is better, Alien or Aliens? For me, number 2 is James Cameron's Aliens. This is an incredible action horror film that does everything a good sequel should. It's exciting from front to back, and it expands on the original beautifully. I don't have too much to say about this movie that hasn't already been said, so yeah, I'll just leave it at incredible film, and we'll move on to number 1, which you of course know by process of elimination is the original Alien. To me, this is Ridley Scott's masterpiece. The first half is a mysterious and disturbing body horror piece, and the second half is an excellent, basically slasher thriller with an alien. Every piece of it is just immaculately crafted, and it's incredibly original for the time it came out, and it has influenced so much that has come after it. When I reviewed it, I gave it a 10 out of 10, because I think it is just truly one of the greatest sci-fi horror films ever made. And you can check out that review and all the other individual reviews in the playlist, which I'll link in the description. And yeah, that's the Alien series. Tell me if you agree or disagree in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. And yeah, I'll see you in the next review.